Hey there, have you ever played a game on your phone or used an app and wondered, how does it remember all my stuff? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and find out. We're going to look at a secret tool that makes all that magic happen. It's one of the most important things in all of programming.
I mean, really think about it. You're playing a game. Your score is going up, up, up. How does the computer keep track of that number? Or what about an app that says, "Hello, Sarah"? How in the world does it know your name? Well, the answer to both of those questions is exactly the same. They all use a special little trick that every programmer learns on day one. It's called a variable, and it's not as complicated as it sounds, I promise. Let's open up this little treasure chest and see what's inside. To really get what a variable is, I want you to imagine something with me. Let's call it the magic labeled box. It's a really simple idea, but it's also incredibly powerful. Okay, so here's the official kind of technical definition. You'll see words like named container, value, and computer's memory. It sounds a little scary, right? But don't worry about all that. All it really means is we have a spot to put information, and we give that spot a name so we can find it again later. That's it. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Just picture these little boxes. Each box has a label on the outside, that's the variable's name, and each box holds something on the inside. That's what programmers call its value. So a box labeled A is holding the number 28. See? The name is the label, and the value is what's inside. Simple, right? Now, here is a super important rule for our magic boxes. They can only hold one thing at a time. So if we have a box called score and we put the number 5 inside, what happens if we then try to put the number 10 in it? Well, poof, the 5 just vanishes. It's gone forever, and now the box holds 10. Okay, so we've got our boxes. The next obvious question is, what kind of stuff can we actually put inside of them? This is where we talk about something called data types. It turns out computers are actually kind of picky, and they like to keep things really organized. Now, there are lots of different types of information out there, but you know what? Almost everything starts with these 3 basic kinds. You've got boxes for text, boxes for numbers, and special boxes that can only hold a simple true or false. Let's check them out one by one. First up, we have strings. That's just a funny programmer word for any kind of text. Your name is a string. A sentence is a string. Even a single letter is a string. So if we make a box and label it player name, it's the perfect place to store the text Alex. Next, we have numbers. This one is pretty easy to guess, right? These boxes are made to hold, well, numbers. Any number, big or small. It could be your high score or your age, or in this very important example, the number of tacos you've eaten. Our box labeled tacos eaten is holding the number 11. A solid effort. And finally, we have Booleans. I know, it's a super weird sounding word, but the idea is actually the simplest of all. A Boolean box can only hold 2 things, either the value true or the value false. That's it. It's like a light switch. It's either on or off. It's perfect for answering simple questions like, is the game over? Or am I hungry? Now, this is a really big point of confusion for people, so let's clear it up. Variables in programming are not exactly the same as the X and Y from your math class. Like we said, in programming, a variable holds just one value at a time. But look at that last row. In math class, X equals X plus 1 is impossible. It doesn't make any sense. But in programming, you see it all the time. It's not an equation, it's a command. It means, hey computer, go find the box labeled X, see what number is inside, add 1 to it, and then put that new total back into the very same box. It's how we make a score go up. All right, on to our next big idea. Let's talk about the rules of the room, or what programmers call scope. To get this, I want you to imagine your entire program is like a big house with different rooms. A kitchen, a bedroom, a living room. Turns out not all of our labeled boxes can be used in every single room. So some variables are global. The best way to think about these is that they're placed right in the main hallway of the house. Anyone from any room at all can walk into the hallway and see what's inside that box. It's available everywhere. But then you have local variables. These are different. Think of a local variable like a secret note you keep tucked away in your bedroom. You can read it when you're in your bedroom, but if you go to the kitchen, you can't see it or use it. It only exists inside that one specific room where you created it. Okay, last big piece of the puzzle, I promise. We've got our boxes, we know what kind of stuff goes inside them, we even know which rooms they're allowed to be in. But what can we actually write on the labels? Are there rules for naming our boxes? You bet there are. And here are the most common rules you'll find in pretty much any programming language. Your names have to start with a letter or an underscore, not a number. And you absolutely can't have any spaces in them. But here's the one that trips up everyone when they start. Names are case sensitive. That means a box labeled score with a little s is a completely different box from one labeled score with a big S. The computer sees them as two separate things. But of all the technical rules, this one right here is the golden rule. This is the one that really matters. Always, always, try to give your variables a clear descriptive name. Calling a variable player score is so much better than just calling it PS. It makes your code way easier for other people, and even for you, to understand later. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Naming things well is famous in the programming world for being one of the hardest things to do. Even professional programmers spend a lot of time thinking about it. So taking an extra moment to think of a good, clear name is one of the best habits you can ever learn. Phew, okay, we covered a lot of ground, but it really all comes down to these 4 simple ideas. Number 1, a variable is just a magic, labeled box for holding information. Number 2, the boxes are designed for different types of information, like text or numbers. Number 3, some boxes work everywhere in the house, but some are stuck in just one room. And number 4, good, clear labels make everything easier to understand. And that's really it. You now understand one of the biggest, most fundamental ideas in all of programming. Variables are what let programs remember things, change over time, and feel like they're actually alive and interacting with you. So I'll leave you with a question to think about. Now that you know the secret of the labeled box, what information would you want a computer to remember for you?